How important is it, teammates, coaches, having other people around you that are also serious? How important is that for you?
We need other people to get better. I think that's the big thing about Killcliff and working with Henry. Why does that team and why does Henry work so well? The reason is because we're all training together and we're all making each other better.
So if you want to have high-level outcomes, it's very important to learn from people who already did the things that you want to do. You're going to understand the stock market by yourself. Not possible.
If you don't have $1 million yet, you're living a much lesser life than what could be easily available to you with the right guidance. My head coach has freed up a few spots in his calendar to hold one-on-one strategy calls with the highest quality applicants. If you're doing well already and you're looking to accelerate your momentum and do even better, click the link in the description now and apply for your strategy session. More at the end of this video.
Today I'm excited to chat and introduce to you the homie Vicente Luque. Vicente has been at UFC forever, for something like a decade now, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, almost 2015. So yeah, next year gonna be 10 years.
10 years of cracking necks and collecting checks over at UFC. Been in the top 10 for some time, fought a lot of really tough men, beat most of those really tough men, and we've seen RDA fight recently. You had a win over him. I was at your fight when you got a win over the champion, a well-respected champion, good man, hard man. Tyrone Woodley is a former champion. You also got a victory over, and many others on there that are top contenders and whatnot. What got you excited about fighting early in life? What were the first steps that got you to on your path to beating champions at UFC?
I feel that it was something that was built during my life. I always say I was born to be a fighter because my mom is a black belt in karate. My dad, he played rugby all his life, from 15 to 43 years old. And rugby, for the guys that know, it's a really tough contact sport. And I feel like all of this, little by little, growing up, my mom and my dad would always tell me how important sport was, how I should do it. That was part of my routine. I had to practice sports, and they let me practice all kind of different sports. Until when I was 15 years old, that's when I got into Muay Thai, and that's when I really decided, okay, I want to be a fighter. This is something I really enjoy. I was watching back in the day Shogun, Vitor Belfort, Vanderlei Silva, all these Anderson Silva, all these stars, and growing up in Brazil, it was something that just for me was very something that attracted me a lot. I wanted to be a fighter, and I already had that because I trained karate when I was a kid. From 3 years old until 10 years old, I trained karate. So I feel that kind of gave me a good body awareness and all that. So later on, when I started training Muay Thai, I did good, and I'm saying I like this, I do good at it. So why not do it? Why not develop this? It was something that I've also always been very competitive. So that's when it started, and from there on, I never decided to change my mind. I said I'm gonna go all the way. I'm gonna be, the best I can be at this, and the rest is history.
I think a lot of the people that become very successful at anything, they have that sort of mindset that you just described. That when you decide to focus on something, you can do that, very fully. That you can put a lot of your energy, a lot of your thoughts, into that craft, into that thing that you want to accomplish. And a normal person, they want to work. They want to get paid 40 hours a week. They want to work, 20 hours a week, get paid for 40.
Yes.
Go home, maybe watch some sports on TV, maybe drink a little too much, eat too much. And I always find that puzzling that, if you want to be high level at anything, to be a high level entrepreneur, if you're not working 100 hours a week, I mean, there's plenty of other smart people that are working 100 hours a week. How would you do better,
For sure.
Or in your sport, in your career, if you're going to be a fighter, the difference of winning and losing at the high levels that you're competing, everybody is very talented. Everybody is working very hard for years. So is such little things make the difference to win or lose those very important fights. What do you think of? What would you say to someone who's making that decision? the path that they would have to choose. They're either going to do like normal people things and have normal outcome, or they want to do, high level things. What are the decisions they're going to have to make to have that higher path or be a serious contender or a champion?
I feel like that's something very interesting, because I feel like as a society, we see a lot of, especially growing up and in school, like we have a path kind of designed for us, right? Oh, you got to go through all this, got to go through university, and just get a job that is going to keep you safe, and just go through it, and go through the motions. And the way I see life, what I believe in is, all of us, we have a purpose in life, but not all of us know it, and I think that's the big thing that drives me, understanding my purpose and chasing my purpose with all I have. And I feel like everything else is part of that. Obviously, we want to, get a better life financially, have, some people want to build families. We have all these different goals, but if we achieve all these goals and are not building something, are not, really fulfilling the purpose that fills our spirit, our heart, it's going to be harder, because struggles will happen, regardless of what path or area in life you're going through. There's going to be struggle, there's going to be hardship, there's going to be challenges. And how are you going to overcome that if what you want is just to stay comfortable, and that's what the world paints. Be comfortable, find yourself a secure job that's just going to give you what you need to stay right where you are, enjoy your vacations, and not do more than that. And for me, it never made sense. Since I was a small kid, it never made sense, because I see the logics behind it, but there's so much more. Why am I just gonna, not, even if it means risking it, risking the security to going for more? I feel like, go for more. It will be worth it after you get there. During the process, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard, but remember remember what's coming at the end.
I think I love what you said, but I think people misunderstand. Like, there is no safe job today. There's no safe job.
Yeah. That's true.
There's no safe career. There's plenty of people that went to college, went to universities, that they're unemployed, or they're working at a job like Starbucks or Whole Foods or something like this. That nothing wrong with working there. I like somebody is there to make my coffee.
Yeah.
It's nice when you go to the store, they make your coffee for you. The stocks, the store has the food on the shelves. They got fresh produce. Somebody has to do that. But maybe it's not you. Maybe it's not your calling to make sure that there's fresh blueberries for me, fresh acai at the grocery store. So the idea that you're going to go to college, I spent 9 years in university. I went to the best business school in our country. It was very useful. I made extra money because of that. I learned some things because of that. You can't even get that education today. I started that 25 years ago. I started going to university. There's no school like that today. The schools don't even teach the same things today. They teach a bunch of nonsense. A university used to be a place where smart people, ambitious people would go there to get smarter, to challenge themselves and share ideas with other ambitious people. And today it's a place you go to get dumber, because you're not allowed to say anything that matters. You're not allowed to share anything that might hurt somebody's feelings. And imagine if you're in an environment where you're not allowed to say things that are obviously true. You're not allowed to talk about reality, because maybe it'll hurt somebody's feelings. I mean, how would the gym work if you went to a gym that way? Like, you're not allowed to hurt somebody's feelings. Yeah. There's no winners and no losers. It's just everybody's equal. That's not how life is. Yeah. It's just not how life is. And the worst part is you've been told this, and I agree with what you said. I've been told my whole life you're supposed to go to school. I never wanted the job, but I wanted the education. I thought it was important to know some things. You can't get the same education today. So I think it was good for me. I'm happy that I did that. Cost me a lot of time, cost me a lot of money, but it was valuable for me. Today, the schools are not the same. You can't get the same education. And you're not going to have job security when you leave. You have all this automation. The AI stuff is going to take a lot of people's jobs, including smart people that, most accountants, many attorneys, A lot of things, anything that can be done better by a computer is going to be done by the computer. So even in the past, you could say, well, you could drive a taxi, you could drive an Uber. No, that's going to be automated too.
Yeah.
So, oh, you could get a job at McDonald's, you know. If you really suck in life, you could be a fast food worker. No. California just passed $20 minimum wage to work at fast food. So, nope, that's going to be automated too. So there is no job security. So I think the thing that you said that is beautiful is everything is a little risky. Everything is, there's not going to be security in your future. So you should do the things that you're passionate about. Now those things should make money. I'm passionate about, video games. Well, if you can make money with them, that's great. I don't play video games because I don't make any money. That's for children to me. It's for little babies play video games. Little children do that. Not very ambitious ones. When I was a kid, I was working. I was getting money. When I was 7, I made my first entrepreneurial money when I was 7, and I just kept going. So your passion better make you some money, but you're going to be just as safe doing anything that would lead to prosperity, that would lead to some skills, respect in society, that's going to help you pay for your family, pay for your life, live the life that you want to live. It's not any more risky than trying to get to a job today. It maybe is less risky and much more fulfilling, I think.
For sure. I mean, I think that it makes, like, for me, it's obviously like financial. This financial side of things, that's a reality, That's how the world runs. So it makes a lot of sense. You gotta make money out of what your passion is, and that's something that for me is a no-brainer. And I feel like that comes with the freedom that it's going to give you too. And I think that's something I've seen you talk a lot about, financial freedom. And that is really being able to not be safe, not be secure, be free. I think safety is something that chains you up into thinking that you're good. But then you have to restrain yourself to, okay, I'm only going to do this in this way. Maybe you want more. Maybe you have higher dreams. You have higher, ambitions, and you cannot do that because you're not free financially. So I think that that's something that with definitely with your dream and with your passion in life, work through it and develop that to the highest level. And I believe, like, when you do develop that to the highest level, it will make money, right? Even like the video games, you say. Nowadays, we see guys competing and making a lot of money in video games, And I'm sure that guy he has financial freedom, and he's also fulfilled because he's doing what his passion is at a high level. So I think that all this, like, can run together if you're looking at it, in the way that makes sense, not being afraid of risking yourself, like we were talking about. Yeah.
My understanding is in Korea, I've been to Asia 20 times, but never Korea. My understanding is there's some guys over there making millions of dollars playing video games. Yes. And they're like, I guess. Yeah. Good for you, man. Yeah. Good for you. But don't do it casually. If you do 20 things a little bit, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to get old, and you're going to stay poor. You're going to stay dumb. You're going to be old, and nothing good is going to happen. You got to be very good at a couple things. Be very good at least one thing, and if you could be very good at about 3 things, you start to really stand out in the world. People start paying attention to you, because most people are not so good even at one thing. So if you could be very good at 3 things, and find the crossroads of 2 or 3 things that are valuable, you start to become a very unique person. If you can help people make money, if you can help other people accomplish their goals, they're going to pay you too. They're going to help you too, and you're going to get whatever you want in life. I think there's one other crazy thought that I hear of, 2 thoughts, but balance. I'm make fun of balance with you in a moment. But this idea of how money is created or how a value is created. Like the best way to get what you want in life is to be able to help other people get what they want in life. Mm-hmm. Like I really believe that, and not because I'm a nice guy. I'm not always a nice guy. I don't pretend to be. But I really believe, the more I could help other people accomplish their goals, they're happy to help me a little bit too. And I always think to myself, how could I make myself more valuable to others? How could I help this person get what they want? Mm-hmm. And they could do something little for me too. How could I help this person get some big thing and they would help me out a little bit too. And the more you could help other people accomplish your goals, their goals, they're really happy to help you, you know? Like,
Yeah.
if I could help you make an extra $1 million, would you be mad to give me like 200,000?
No,
Would be okay? Would you like to do that deal only once, or we could do it again?
Yeah, we could do it again for sure. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? And when you see like that's really like you look at nature and you'll see that in nature in many ways, you know, animals helping each other, and sometimes you think, how are these two animals interacting? But it makes sense because both are having success, and then are going, like they're both getting what they need. And it's not about exploiting each other. It's about understanding, I can help him, he can help me. Why are we gonna, you know, be arrogant to want to do things on our own and on our own way, and not share this with other people? Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, for sure.
We'll go back and talk about that, you know, helping others in a moment, because I think that's very useful in a team context. You got to be around the right people. But balance, before I forget, is do you see a lot of people that are high performers that have a very balanced life the whole time, or they tend to be pretty intense?
I think everyone I know is pretty intense. Balance is something that is, I don't even know how to describe what it is. And I would say it because if I look at my life and my career, like just the sport I do is very unbalanced. Like there are moments where I have a training camp, so I have like 2 or 3 months where I'm full in that, you know, immersed. Everything is about that fight. I'm studying my opponent. I'm watching tape on him. I'm training at a high level. I cut weight, so I fight at 170, but I'll start off my camp like at 198. So I got some weight to cut. So my diet is intense, my sleep, my recovery. So everything's focused for that. So that's really intense. And that means like, okay, my family time, I'm still gonna have family time, but it's much less than in other moments. I'm still gonna have, let's say, times to enjoy one thing or another, but it's gonna be much less than in other moments. And then I have the fight. After the fight, I have a different period like of I don't have a fight right now, so I could have a week or 2 weeks of rest. That's gonna be okay. Now I shift my focus to my family, enjoying with them, being able to you know, just enjoy them and appreciate that time, because I'm not gonna be training as hard. So it's all about being able to be intense in what you need to be intense at that moment. So it's, some people could call that balance, but you know, having a balanced life where you're always gonna be doing everything at your best, I don't see that happening. I don't see how you're gonna make that work. Sometimes you really need to put yourself fully into one thing at that moment, and then once you get that, maybe you're gonna shift to a different thing. And it's like you were saying before about, you know, developing yourself. You cannot be doing like 20 different things just a little bit. You rather do 1 or 2, but do it like intensely, and then you're gonna get somewhere. And then maybe you go to something else, you add a third or a fourth, but you gotta, you know, develop yourself in every single aspect, and understand what you're looking for. That's why I feel like the end, you have to know what you want the end to look like in order to plan the path to that. Otherwise, you're just gonna be working like with no goal, with no, like, how am I gonna work if I don't know where I want to get to?
If you don't have a serious goal, how would you ever accomplish anything serious?
Yeah.
It's not possible. I see these people on the internet saying, you know, oh, balance. I think it's terrible advice. They tell young people, oh, you know, balance is important. You need to get a lot of sleep. You got to go do, you know, family and your this thing and that thing. And if you're worried about your family and what your mommy thinks about you and what your siblings think and what your employer thinks and what your coworkers think and the guy that you used to go to school with and the kid that you grew, if you're worried about what everybody's opinion is about you more than you're worried about your goals, you're not going to accomplish anything. It's not possible. So I have this thought about confidence. I hear people say that word and usually in ways that make no damn sense. And I think that confidence, I don't feel confident that everybody's going to like me. I don't like most people. I don't think most people need to like me. I don't care what they think. It makes no difference to me.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at them, but I just don't value their opinion. It's not someone, would I pay for their opinion? Do I care about their opinion? No. Okay. Confidence doesn't mean that you're confident that everybody's going to like you. Confidence means that you're so confident in your way of life. You're so convinced that your goals are important, that you're going to do the things necessary to accomplish your goals, to be the person that you want to be, even if nobody likes it. If nobody likes it, you're still going to live your life the way that you want to and accomplish the goals that you want to. I think that's real confidence.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think a good example of that is like me growing up. I've always like my mom and my dad. They separated when I was 4. Then that's when I moved to Brazil, and I grew up in Brazil. But I always had a very good relationship with both of them, and they always had expectations for me, things they wanted me to achieve, and many of them like the common way, right? Okay, you finish school, you go to university, you do all this. You gotta follow through this, but you can do whatever you want, but you gotta follow through this while you're under, living with them and everything. And I always respected that. Like I was taught to have a lot of respect from my parents, and something that is very big for me is honoring my parents. They're great. They always show their love to me, so I always felt like I must honor them, right? But at one point in my life, I realized I want to be a fighter. And that meant going against what they thought I should be doing. And at that moment, I went against it. Not because I wanted to make them mad, but also not because I wanted to please them, but because I wanted to honor them. And what does that mean for me? I know how much they invested in my life, how much they dedicated their time and their money into building me into a man. So I felt like I have to be a man that, will go after his goals, go after his, passions, after his purpose in life, and will have, will work for that. But that in a certain moment of my life meant to go against what they were telling me to do, which was, okay, you got to focus on school. You cannot be, I know that you want to be an athlete, but that's plan B. You got to have plan A. And for me, it was no, it's one plan. That's what I'm going to do. And it meant having for a couple of years, or maybe 3 or 4 years, like certain, arguments, and it wasn't pleasant, so I could say I wasn't like making them happy about what I was doing, but at the end I was honoring them. And once all that passed and I got to the UFC and I started building my family, they realize, and we've talked about it, and they understand, like, yeah, it was hard moments, but everything, like what they taught me when I was younger, stuck to me in a way that I was able to go through that, and like you describe it, have the confidence to know that maybe they don't understand what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing, and I'm doing it to honor them. And even they will look at me later and realize, okay, you did good, you did what we actually would want you to do, even though we didn't understand what was going on. So yeah, I think we got to be confident, and I think that the world, like, they're going to look at us and they're not going to understand what we're doing, but that doesn't really matter. That doesn't really matter, first of all, because not everybody gets what we're doing, and not even everybody even cares about what we're doing. But if we really have, like, I think if we have a good heart, if we have good intentions, and if we can, like, really put ourselves into that and do something for really, like, purpose and passion, we got to have that confidence to go through all that and just dial in to that and dial off all the other people, like, putting crazy opinions in it.
I think that bigger picture balance talk again is like, balance is great long term. I'll be 45 very soon. It's okay for me to have more balance now, because I did the things that I was supposed to do the last 30 years, that now I have a lot of financial freedom. I have a lot of freedom to do the things that I want to, so I can be a little more relaxed. I'm not really a relaxed guy. I kind of focus on a few things pretty intensely. I'm not really the type of guy. You learn that about yourself, that when you have more money, the more money allows you to be exactly who you already are inside. If you're an asshole and a piece of shit, you'll be a bigger asshole and a bigger piece of shit. If you're generally a decent person, then you have the opportunity to do that at a bigger scale as well. So, money just allows you the freedom to be more of what you really are. And one of the realizations that I had as I had older and had more wealth and more freedom to do whatever I want, I'm like, I don't really want to relax. So when I was working forever since I was a child until a couple of years ago, really, but get money. That's what I spent my life thinking about, and that was good. It gave me the freedom to do the things I want. When I realized one day, I woke up in my 40s and I had I could do whatever I want. I had over $50 million, and that's a few years ago. I'm doing better now. And I thought, well, what would you like to do with your time? You don't really have to work. You don't have to do things you don't want to do. What would you like to do? And then I started thinking about I was always interested in MMA, and I'm fat. At that time, I'm 300 pounds. I'm very fat. And I thought, well, that'll be good for my fitness. It'd be good for my ability to, protect my family, protect the people I care about in life. So I thought, well, why don't I work on that? So, and that's not fun when you start. Imagine you're 300 pounds and you're, 41 or something, 42, and then you're going to go start getting, smaller men come beat you up. The first year you just get beat up by smaller men. That's all that happens. For 6 months you get beat up badly, and then for the next 6 months you get beat up a little less badly, and then you start to have some good defense. And then you get beat up a different way, but it just becomes, and now after, more than 2 years, now I still get beat up, but now it takes a few minutes, until my cardio starts fading. So a guy like Gilbert, or probably a guy like you and I never trained together yet, maybe we will, but you're going to have a hard time to f me up for about 3 minutes, and then my cardio starts going down, and then you're going to get me. Yeah. I'll defend myself real good for a couple minutes. So anyway, that's something that's a lot of people, if you're feeling good about yourself, you're like, oh, I accomplished something big. You really like your ego at that moment. You feel important. You feel like you did something. Most people are not going to then choose to go do something that's pretty humiliating for a while. Like, it takes a few years to be good, and then a lot more years to be really good, like these guys are. So, but I thought, what am I going to sit around and do? What? I'm not going to play a video game. I'm still going to go make some more money. But I like to spend a lot of my time. I lift some weights, a lot of MMA training, and it's not for everybody. But I'm just giving you a template. I don't want to relax. I don't want to chill. I like to have something difficult I'm working on, some problem to solve, something difficult. I want to feel proud of myself, I'm making progress. I'm doing something that's important. I think a man is supposed to be, a good protector, good provider, be able to take care of his woman, take care of his family. I don't want children. I'm not interested in children, but most people are. So, I think most men would agree you should be good to take care of your family, good to take care of your.
It's important.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope other people think that. So, I don't think the balance thing is great. I think that you have put a better model that I talk about is go do something intensely and be very good at, earn your financial freedom, build some skills that will get you your financial freedom, and then build another skill and another skill. And over time, you can be good at several things and you can have a lot more balance in your life. Mm-hmm. But if you start off with that, well, I'm just going to do a little here and a little there and make a little effort, well, nothing's going to happen. It's not possible. There's other people that are serious, that are going to have all the good outcomes that you could have had if you were serious and you're working very hard in a focused way. Then later on, you can maintain, if you build a skill at a high level, you can maintain that skill and go build a new skill and bring that up. And now you have 2 good skills, and you could go learn a 3rd thing and bring that up. Mm-hmm. Over time, you can have a lot more balance. But do that in an intelligent way that's going to help you build a fantastic life, feel proud of yourself, in the way that you speak about it, like feel like you're living your purpose.
Yeah.
You're doing the things that you're supposed to do to live the life that you want. How important is it, teammates, coaches, having other people around you that are also serious? How important is that for you?
That's, man, it's funny because right, my sport is MMA is individual, at least is said to be, right? But it's not at all, because once we understand, like, we need other people to get better. And I think that's the big thing about Killcliff and working with Henry since 2014. That was Black Zillions, then Combat Club, Hard Knocks, Sanford, and now Killcliff. That's what I've always seen. Like, why does that team and why does Henry work, like the work with all the team and Henry work so well? Because we all understand that iron sharpens iron. Yes, we can. Obviously, there are cases where the guys are just trained on their own, or we're with a couple guys and they do good. There's always going to be things like that. But have a gym like Killcliff that have so many high level guys. The reason is because we're all training together and we're all making each other better. And that's what I think is the big thing. And that can translate to life itself. You surround yourself with people, and that does not at all come from interest. It's not like, oh, yourself with successful people. No, it's not that. Like, surround yourself with people that care about you. You care about them, and you guys want to grow, and that's definitely gonna help you. Why? Because maybe, like we were talking about the skills, maybe I'm gonna be studying one skill with all focus, and then my friend is studying the other thing with all his focus, but we can teach each other what we've learned, and then we can advance much more in that way. And that's what I feel like, having a team and coaches that work with a lot of high level athletes has helped me through my career. A guy that I like to talk about, obviously Gilbert Burns. We've in 2014, that's when we met. And since then, we've been always training together, developing each other. And he has always been very good at grappling, and I've always been very good at striking. Nowadays, if you look at us, we have knockouts and submissions, both of us. Where does that come from? One of the things is because we've worked with each other, so we've improved each other in what the other guy is good at, in a way that now we're both good at those two modalities, right? I'm good at grappling, he's good at striking, and we can really fight the whole game of MMA. So I think it's something that is very, very important. And when it becomes an environment like we have at Killcliff, where Jason Jackson recently got his, he unified the belts, right? Bellator and PFL. And the next week he was at the gym. Why? Because Gilbert has a fight coming, I have a fight coming. He wants to help us. Last week I was sparring with him. He could be resting. He doesn't need to be there. He doesn't need to, there's no reason other than he wants to be part of the team. He wants to make us better because we make him better. That's the real reason. And that's beautiful. That comes into also helping. You help others, the others will help you, and not out of interest, but out of true belief in that system, believing that, yeah, I help them and they help me, and we're gonna be better together. So that's what I think about teamwork. I think it's when it's like that's beautiful. It just makes us all better.
Shout out to Jason Jackson. Shout out to Gilbert Burns.
Yes.
I learned so much from Gilbert. I like Jason. He's a really good man. I did some talks with him, interviews with him. I want to train with him too. And great guy. Really like him. Gilbert Burns became a very good friend over time. And I learned so much from Gilbert and grappling. And I can't say enough good things about the man. So I think Jake Shields has been my main MMA coach in general. But I have, he comes over every 4 weeks. We train together. But the other weeks of the month, I have other people. So I spend about 20% of my time with Jake. I learned so much from Gilbert. I said Glover Teixeira helped me a lot with grappling. Claudia Gadeja, nice. She helped me a lot with grappling. She's tough. You ever spend time with her?
I've met her a couple of times. We both have the same psychologist. So I know her a little bit. Not spend any time training, but
She's
She's a
very
beast.
technical. She's 130 pounds. She's a small person, but she's so physically strong for her size,
Yeah.
pound for pound. It hurt your feelings if you go to the gym with her. She's my favorite weightlifting partner. But she's also very technical, and I learned a lot of things from grappling. But yeah, Gilbert, Glover, Claudia, Jake, learned so much. Yeah, and 15 other people came to help me, but those people are there all the time doing things with me, and so much respect for them. What you were saying, if somebody spends their time to get very good at something, and somebody else spends their time to get good, and you share that information. I never trained MMA. I was always kind of interested. I was a rambunctious young man and had plenty of fights when I was a kid, but not as a trained fighter, just kids being kids, I got my blue belt when I started training seriously. I got my blue belt in 7 months. I had my purple belt in jiu-jitsu in 19 months. This year, about 1 month after 1 year after the purple belt, I'll get my brown belt. So this summer, I think I'll have my brown belt. If I don't have a bad injury, if something crazy doesn't happen, I'm doing all the right things that I have my brown belt. If I didn't have those coaches, if I didn't have those people to help me, like how long would I have to train by myself to invent jiu-jitsu?
It's true.
Hoyce Gracie is overtraining with me. Gordon Ryan is overtraining with me. How long would I have to train by myself to learn what these guys know, to know what you know about? It's impossible. It would never happen.
It would never. Yeah.
Imagine watching a YouTube video and like wrestling a stuffed bear or something, a stuffed toy at home. It would never happen. So if you want to have high-level outcomes, it's very important to learn from people who already did the things that you want to do. So, little Claudia, 3-time world champion, 7-time national champion in Brazil, 3-time world champion in jiu-jitsu. Gilbert also, 7-time national champion, 3-time world champion, so on and so on. Jake had great accomplishments in MMA and in grappling. Glover to Sherrick, all these people they've done so much. Some of them have been training like 40 years. So how long would it take me to learn? And they had coaches. So with no coach, it would never happen. It would never happen. And the idea that you're going to be great at, you're going to understand the stock market by yourself, not possible. The idea that you're going to go build a significant business by yourself, not possible. The idea that you'd be, you're going to teach yourself karate and Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu at a high level. You're going to just figure it out, watch a couple of videos and figure it out, man. Oh, I'm smart, I'll figure it out. No, you won't. It's not possible. So I think it's very important. I've been, fortunate and also hardworking, and that helped me be successful in several areas. But I learned from other people. The smartest thing I did is I learned from other people that were already doing the things that I wanted to do. And I find a way to make myself useful to them, that they were happy to spend a little time and teach me a little bit of their knowledge and their wisdom. And that helps so much. It helps so much. So I think it's a dangerous idea when a person thinks, I'll figure it out by myself. I'm going to do it my way, man. I don't want to do it my way. I want to do it the way that works. It don't need to be my way. I do it your way. I do it Gilbert's way. I don't care. I just want to do the things that work.
Yeah. And also that talks a lot about reliability. So you also got to find the information, especially now, there's so much information, but you want to get a reliable source of information. So I think that's maybe every single person that is seeking for that information, that's a job that they have to do. Look who is that one that is going to be teaching you, coaching you, sharing the knowledge with you, because unfortunately there are people out there that just want to get they're like, okay, you're my master and everything. They just want the title of teaching, but they don't have the knowledge. So that's very important too. Like you're talking about high level guys, and that's where you're learning from. That's why your development is so good. At the same time, we could see someone else that maybe has many more years and cannot go through doesn't have the skills and techniques that you've developed, maybe because he's went to the wrong source of information. So that's also another part that's very, very important.
Do you see these videos on Instagram or maybe YouTube, something? You see these like, martial arts masters guy
Yeah.
where they go, ooh,
I've seen.
and the guy falls down, They don't even touch the guy. He goes, oh, and the guy falls down, or he puts his hand on him and he, oh.
Yeah. I like to see sometimes the ones that is the like unmasking these guys. So like real fighters will go there and challenge them, and then they try to do it and it doesn't work. They get beat up. Those I like to watch more, because the other ones get me just mad. Like they're cheating people and people are believing it. I don't like that.
Well, this is what happens in the business world as well. There's some guys on the internet that say, you're going to get rich quick. You're going to make a lot of money overnight. You don't have to do any work.
Yeah.
Like when I hear something somebody tell me like I'm going to get some great results,
easy and quick,
ooh, no effort. I'm like, I don't know, man. That's not been my experience in life so far. Everything that I'm proud of that matters is like it took a long time. It was a lot of work.
For me, that's like winning the lottery. How easy would it be just to get money winning the lottery? But how hard is it to actually happen? You put in money, like it's the worst investment you could do.
It is.
Every month you buy your ticket and you never win for years, for a whole life.
And I don't mean this to be an insult, but it's just a truth. It's like the people that play the lottery are very dumb. They don't understand, like this is just a tax. They're literally just paying a new tax to the government, where the government keeps most of the money.
Yeah.
So if you win the money, you don't, so say there's $100 million. They don't give you $100 million. They give you $100 million over 30 years. So they give you little payments over 30 years where they get to make the interest on that. And also you got to pay the taxes on it. So if you get $100 million, maybe you'd get 50 million if you took if you even got the 100 million, they'd give, after taxes, you'd get 50, but it's worse than that. You only get about 1/3 of the money, and the government keeps about 2/3 of the money. So the lottery is essentially a tax on stupid people that are trying to get rich quick instead of, you'd be better to invest that money in almost anything else. You'd be better to buy a coffee and work a little harder that day.
Yeah. That's true.
Anything would be better. Anything would be better for you. So don't be relying on the lottery. I never talk about get rich quick. I don't believe in it. It took me a long time to feel like I had some decent money, and it took me more than 20 years to make my first $1 million from the time I was a child until I was 29. And it was hard. And then it gets easier as you have more money. Your money makes you money, and you got smarter. You learned other ways to make more money, and you get some synergies, and things start coming together better. But I always tell people, don't worry about get rich quick. Forget about get rich quick, but make sure you get rich. Do the things that are going to make you smart, talented. They're reliable, like you said, that you could do it again and again and again. And then another funny one to me is there's some people that they made money, but they talk about some crypto, this or that, or some sort of schemes. Then I'm like, well, and they think that they're very brilliant people now, and I'm like, okay, could you do that again? So I bought this thing.
It.
Yeah, could you do it again? Oh, you're a great investor. Okay, so you where did you make your money? Oh, you made your money. You bought this one thing that you really didn't understand the risk that you were taking, and it worked out for you, and that's great. You deserve that. If you bought something that was risky, and it made you money over time, that's great. Nothing bad to say about that. That person deserves to be rewarded for their risk, even if they were kind of stupid and didn't understand the trouble that they could have been in. They deserve to keep that money. Good for them. But can you do it again now? Could you do it a second time? Could you do it a third time? Because the things I do, I've been doing for decades, and I can do it my whole life now. I can do it forever. But I don't do these crazy get-rich-quick things. I buy boring things that are underpriced, boring, dull. It takes time, usually years. Usually I buy something, by the time I sell it, it'd be 2, 3, 4, 5 years later. But I want to do things that I can make at least a couple $1 million, or I don't really want to do something if I'm not going to make decent money. So I make good money very consistently, but it's slow. It's kind of boring. Most days it's a little boring. I think find ways that you can replicate success, like your ability, your fight skills. Like you just get lucky and knock out some of these guys or get a win over them, or no, if you fought 20 more times, you do it again. You do it again. You do it again.
And it's funny because you're saying like how it's boring, and if I look at my career like day to day, it's boring. Like usually the people look at, okay, that night where I'm fighting, thousands of people are in the arena watching, all that energy, but that's one night, 2 nights a year, let's say. Now it's everyday training, everyday work, waking up sore, waking up tired like everyone else, waking up like tired, or sometimes tired of training, but I'm still gonna go there. I'm still gonna do what I gotta do with a good attitude so that I get something out of it. And most of the days are gonna be boring, but it's consistency and like you said, long term. That's why like a big thing would be, especially for whoever is really young watching, the sooner you start, the better, because that's it. You know, why am I gonna wait 30 years to learn that, oh, I should have done it like that? No, start right now. Don't like think too much about it. Just start being consistent.
Yeah, I think that's funny that there's some poor stupid people out there. I like to make fun of them, so I say a couple mean words like that. Because what I really want to say is somebody who's smart enough to understand, like, yeah, I could do that. And then I say, hey, dummy, hey, stupid. And they're like, wait a minute, that's not me. And then they'll actually go do the thing, you know?
Yes.
They'll actually go do the thing. So I'd like to offend them just enough that the serious ones. Now, 90% are going to do nothing ever. 90% of you are going to stay poor and dumb. But the other 10%, they might be like, wait a minute, I could do that too. And be like, you, Derek, I'm going to do that thing. And if they say, you, Derek, but then they go do the thing, I'm so happy for them, you know?
Yes.
Good. Thank you, man. That's what I wanted for you. I wanted you to do better. Good for you. But there's some people out there, they like, they if they can't get rich overnight, if they can't get their black belt this month, then like, nah, man, that's too much time. The time is going to go by anyway. Mm-hmm. The time is going to go, unless you die early. I hope you don't. The time is going to go by anyway. And you're either going to do those little boring things that over time they add up, and you have black belt, you have some money, you have whatever you want, whatever's important to you. I'm not telling you how to live your life. Just get the things that are important. You should have enough money to live your life however you want. You should have enough money to have the freedom to live your life however you want. After that, if you like martial arts, I like martial arts, cool. If you like soccer better, all right, go play soccer. But go do something. Go do something, do it well. And the time is going to go by anyway. And you're either going to be old and dumb and you didn't do much, or you're going to be older and you're still going to die, but at least you did some stuff while you were here. At least you did some things you're proud of. You're happy with yourself. You're proud how you lived your life. Probably somebody looks at you, they'd be like, all right, I'm going to be more like that guy. I'm going to be more like that person. I want to feel like I did things that mattered. Lived with purpose, how you say. Yeah. Like, I lived my purpose. I lived the way that I wanted to live. I did it in a way that mattered. So I don't worry about get rich quick. Don't worry about develop. I can't do it this month, so I'm going to do something else. No, if you don't get started, you'll never do it. You got to get started, and you have to accept that probably you suck. Probably you're no good at the thing that you want to be good at, or you're that good at it, and it's going to take time. I remember when I got my little blue belt, my first belt in jiu-jitsu, Forrest Griffin called me. He said, "Oh, congratulations." And I don't know how much you know his personality, but he'd say a couple nice things, but then he's always going to poke at you a little bit, So Forrest called and said, "Oh, congratulations, Moneyberg, so you got your blue belt." I said, "Oh, thanks, Forrest." And he said, if you keep working hard and 5, 6, 7 years, I thought he was going to say you'll be doing real good. That's not what he said. He said, if you keep working hard in 5, 6, 7 years, like, you'll be okay. And I said, well, f*** you, Forrest. And we kind of laughed about, I don't say it in a disrespectful way. Forrest is a good man. But I said, f*** you, Forrest. But as time went on, a couple more years went on, I think, God damn it, he's right. It takes 5 years to be kind of good. Kind of good, not great, not great at all, but it takes 5 years to be kind of good at what you do. And maybe in 10 years you could be if that's what you do, if that's the thing you do, maybe in 10 years you'd be all right, that guy is talented now. It's not something you're going to do in 3 months, 2 years, not at a high level.
Yeah, and even like after, like I look at myself now, almost 10 years in the UFC, 15 years fighting professional MMA, and I started young. I started professionally at 17. I got to the UFC at 23, and I look at my skill set. I look at like I have a lot of tools. I can do a lot of great things, but I have so much to learn still. I have so much to develop. And if I want to compete at a high level, that's where I have to go. I have to reinvent myself, learn new things. Otherwise, I'm going to be the same guy of 5 years ago, and everybody's going to beat me
Mm.
because people are going to learn. Other people are training. Other people are doing things. So that's also what I think that a lot of people could see and can relate to fighting because we're literally fighting against each other. So I compete against my opponents in literally like it's me or him. But in life, sometimes it's not very different. Not that you're gonna try to take something away from someone else, but if you don't work hard enough, somebody else is working harder than you, and he's gonna get whatever the check or the house or whatever it is. He's gonna get it, and you're not because he wants to steal it from you, because he's doing more. He's being a more disciplined person, a tougher worker, harder worker, more focused, and you're not. So I think that's something that we got to put on perspective sometimes. Hey, I'm gonna get all these things that I've set myself to get, not whoever else is gonna is working. Just like I'm very competitive. That's why I like to put it this way. For me, it's just a way that makes me go even harder and go like work harder and dedicate myself more, is knowing that other people are chasing after all these things too. So I gotta do my work. I gotta do everything I gotta do, and just be disciplined and be intense and focused on what I want to accomplish.
I like that way. I like that competitiveness. That I feel very confident in myself that I'm going to make myself get up and do hard things. I like doing that. It feels good to me that every day I wake up, there's going to be some new problem. There's going to be 2 or 3 problems every day. It's my secret to happiness. It's why I'm so cheery all the time. Is I don't have this crazy thought. Some people think, oh, if everything's perfect, then I'll do the thing. I know when I wake up, I got to solve 2 or 3 problems that happened. I got to fix this problem. I got to fix this thing. Got to help somebody with their problem. And then I can start making progress. We just solved the problems where things were starting to go backwards. We fixed all that. Now we can start making more progress today. Get 2 or 3 wins on the board, accomplish 2 or 3, little things. Go to sleep a little bit better. Wake up, there's some new problems. We'll fix the problems. We'll make some progress. Next day, we'll fix the problems. We'll make some progress. Over time, you start getting pretty good at things. And if you don't want to do those little boring things, so your competition is happy. I like it when my competition takes a day off.
Yeah.
I love working on holidays. My favorite day is leap year. We had 29 days in February this year. My favorite day is leap year. I get an extra day to work. I work on my birthday. No day is sacred. I work on my birthday. I work on my girl's birthday. I work on any day. Christmas, any holiday. I spend money every day. I'm supposed to make money every day. I'm supposed to be productive every day. So now I can have a little more leisure time and do things that are a little more fun. But I like to be that way. And how you said, like everybody wants to have a nice house and a nice car and a nice woman, a nice everything. Every man wants these things, or I don't know, something's wrong with him if not, I think. But there's only so much. There's only so much out there. So if you're not willing to work harder and be smarter than your competition, why would you ever get those things? The business partner of Warren Buffett, a man named Charlie Munger, he just died in November. He was 99 years old. He would have on January 1st, he would have turned 100.
Wow.
So he's about 5 weeks short. But anyway, Charlie used to say, so the best way to get what you want in life is to deserve it. So how would the world go around highly rewarding a bunch of undeserved people? I always thought that made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I just accept that. Like, best way for me to get the things I want is to earn that. At your gym, there was this sign on the wall for the longest time. It said, "Earn the right to win." I loved that.
Yeah.
I love that thought. Earn the right to win. Earn the things that you want. And that's the exact opposite of this get rich quick, get things you don't deserve. So the world doesn't work that way. The world doesn't work that way. But if you're willing to outthink your competition and outwork your competition, you could have whatever you want. You can have the nicest houses. You can have the nicest cars. You could have a bunch of women if you want to. You could have a more meaningful relationship with one woman if that's the type of life you want to live. You could have whatever you want. It's up to you. But if you don't want to earn those things, don't worry. Your competition will be happy to. They'll be happy to have all the things that you could have had if you wanted to work for it. If you're willing to do what was necessary. If you're willing to learn from people who had the things that you wanted. So I think it's great when other people have these little problems. Maybe last thought about this type of thing. I've been thinking to myself a lot the last few months of like, I've been listening to what people complain about. And the level it takes for someone to be complaining about something. So, I got a little headache. Oh, my tummy hurts. Oh, this little thing happened. And I thought to myself, some time ago, the people that I know that are most successful, they don't complain too much. Yeah. They just go get shit done. Yeah. And they got all the same problems. They get tummy aches too. They get headaches too. They got more problems than a normal person does. But they don't complain too much. They just go work.
I think the people that are confident, they can be honest to themselves, so they can understand that. Maybe it's a day that I don't feel good, but I can sit and think about, okay, I don't feel good. Should I take a day off, or am I not that bad that I could go and work through it and get stuff done? And then I have that talk, and then I choose, okay, I'm gonna, go and do what I gotta do, and I'll feel better tomorrow or after tomorrow or whenever. Now, when we cannot have that conversation with ourselves, we're trying to fool ourselves and putting like we do excuses to others, we're doing to ourselves, and that's very dangerous, because when we're talking to ourselves, we could paint any kind of picture and make it real. Maybe, oh no, this is too hard. This is, I could never do this. Yeah, if you think like that, you can't do it.
Yeah.
But maybe if you think different, you're gonna realize that no, you can overcome whatever struggle and fight for that. You don't know the outcome, but you can work for it. And then most likely the outcome will be what you wanted to get in the first place. But then again, it comes to that. It's not going to be easy. It's about repetition, discipline, and confidence. Yeah.
I have a sign on the wall in my gym. It was just a thought I had in my head, so I put it on the wall. I say, your goals don't care about your excuses. Mm-hmm. Your goals don't care about your excuses. So I think if my excuses are not going to help me accomplish my goals, then maybe I should just let go of that excuse and just focus on the things that are going to help me do better. And I'm not a professional fighter. I'm not going to be a professional fighter. This is like a hobby for me. It's something I think is super cool. It's good for my fitness. It's a goal-oriented thing where you can challenge yourself against other hard men, and you see your skills developing over time. It's not my career like it is for you, okay? Mm-hmm. But anybody that knows me, you know plenty of people that know me. I never missed a day of training. I never missed a day. Even when I had injuries, I was sore. I have, every problem in life that everybody has. I never missed a day, because I set my schedule, 4 months in advance, 5 months in advance sometimes. I say, okay, Henry Hooft is coming to help me with some kickboxing. The next week, Chuck Liddell is coming over. The next week, Gordon Ryan is coming over. Gordon's leaving, Hoyce is coming, Hoyce Gracie is coming the same day. I'm going to spend the afternoon with Hoyce and Gordon together, and then, keep training, and then the next person, and then the next person, and the next person, and the next person. About 19 days per month of training like this. Who am I going to tell? They changed their schedule. They fly to me. They're staying in my place. They're staying in my training center, okay? I say, hey, we're going to wake up, we're going to have lunch at noon, we're going to go train. Who am I going to say, I'm going to go tell Henry, hey, my tummy hurts a little. I'm going to tell Chuck Liddell, hey, I got a little headache, Chuck. I kind of don't feel like it today. I'm going to tell Hoist that. Who am I going to say that to? I feel so stupid.
Yeah.
I just feel so stupid to say that. So I have all those little problems that come up. Everybody does. But you don't even talk about it. You just go do the thing you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And so I thought that was a great accountability mechanism. I made that decision ahead of time. Well, on this day I'm training with so-and-so. It doesn't matter what I feel like. It makes no difference what I feel like. I don't care about my feelings. A person that cares about their feelings too much in the short term is really hard to accomplish your goals that way. Mm-hmm. I like my feelings in the long term. I want to feel good long term. I want to feel happy about myself. I want to feel proud about myself. But if you're worried about your feelings in the short term, it's really hard to do much. So your competition's going to outwork you. So again, you decide if you want to have the nicest things in life, you want to have whatever you want, or like some people, maybe they don't mind having like a small house, a used car, a used wife. Maybe they don't mind these things. It's not for me. I'd like to have nicer things. So I would just show up and do the work for those. Maybe last thought that would summarize this. You had some pretty serious health problems that you had to overcome to continue with your career. Would you mind talking about that? Or that must be some pretty dark days where you're like, shit, am I going to be able to do this?
I mean, it is a big challenge, and there's no way about talking about this, without really highlighting my faith. I'm a Christian. I believe a lot in God, and I've always like that together with my attitude of working and of focusing on what I can control. I think that's what really got me through this, because in every moment, like, I had a tough fight. That was the first time against Jeff Neal, the first time I was knocked out in my career. And I had a brain bleed, 2 brain bleeds. And that's very uncommon injury. That's very uncommon. It happens more in boxing, and the outcome many times is very, very bad. And once I got to the hospital, they talked to me about what was going. I was going to have to stay there. And like, first, I was like, okay, this is serious. But then I was like, I can't do much about it. I could listen to the doctors, tell me, what I should do to recover. And other than that, I trust, that God is going to get me through it, and I'm going to do everything that is in my power to. So I'm going to follow what the doctors say. I'm going to be disciplined, on my recovery, which meant a lot of rest. For me, it's very hard. Like, I'm a guy, I want to train all the time. I was 6 months without sparring. That was, ever since I started training, fighting, that was the longest time I've went without sparring. But I made all these, like, decisions to, okay, I'm going to do all this that are the instructions. Let's say I have the instructions on how to recover. I'm going to do this. I went to that hyperbaric chamber, which speeds recovery of injuries, even like inside the body. So I did all these different things that were in my power. So that kind of kept me okay. I'm doing what I got to do. And everything else that I cannot control, I trust God. So I don't get anxious as well. I didn't get anxious like, oh, what's going to happen? I trusted, hey, I'm doing what I can do, and everything else is taken care of. I'm going to go into this direction where is recovering, is, getting back to what I have to do. And my career at a certain point was in jeopardy for the first 3 months, because the first 3 months of recovery was going to kind of define for all the neurologists if I could be cleared to fight again. Because if they say I cannot fight again, I can't do anything about it. The commissions won't clear me. And recovery was very, very good. Like, everything, like my brain after that time, what the neurologist said, like, okay, if we give this exam to any other neurologist that doesn't know your background, he would say it's a normal brain. So I had full recovery. And that was very, very important, because, okay, now I can, keep on doing what I do and what I've dedicated myself to doing. But I think a lot of it was being able to kind of be relaxed on, okay, there are a lot of things that are out of my control, but that's not where I have to focus my worry. I got to focus on what can I do, recover respect my body, rest, get full of healthy food, healthy supplements, because that's something that I found out too. Like there are so many different supplements that help your brain recover, that help your body, keep healthy, and also there are all the options for you to end your body, like junk food and all that. So even that, like it's choices that we gotta be aware that that's our control. That's what we can control. The food that comes into my body, the decisions I make, the way I live my life, the rest I'm gonna have, the recovery, and the goals are gonna set how those choices are gonna be made. So, yeah, it was tough, but then again, like it's like everything we were talking about. It's not gonna be easy, but it's the way that I'm gonna get through that is like everything else, making good choices, thinking long term, having goals, and knowing where I want to get to, and everything that I can control, do it as best as I can, and as truthfully and with most confidence that I can.
Everything you control, do it the best you can. Be true. Don't bullshit yourself. Be honest about your situation, and do everything that you can do as best as you can. All of the things you do have control of. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not a religious person. We're not going to have a debate about that. But I'm curious your thought about this. Like, do you think God? Can you imagine a God that would highly reward some people that don't do that? That fill their body with junk foods. They waste their time on junk behavior. They don't make the best. They don't respect themselves to do the best that they could every day. Do you think there's a place in heaven for these lazy people that aren't doing everything they could do? Do you think God is happy with them?
I will describe what I do believe. So what I believe is, I believe none of us, like, I believe God is so great that none of us are able to earn what He has for us. But with that said, remember what I talk about honoring? I think that's, so if He is so great to me, even though I cannot never deserve what He has for me, I must honor Him as best I can. That's what I did with my parents. I'm gonna not do exactly what they say. Let's say what they're telling me at that moment, but I'm gonna honor them. I'm gonna be the son that they wanted me to be. They dreamt with somebody that is gonna be a good man, is gonna have dreams, and is gonna fulfill those dreams, and is gonna make a difference here. And that's what how I honor my parents. And that's what I believe in God too. Like, even though I cannot earn anything from Him, He gives me by His grace, I can honor Him with all I have. So everything will be, if like when I look at God, I see like He is all powerful. How do I honor somebody that has all that power? By doing the best I can, by being the best human being I can in what I understand. So yeah, that's the words I would put it on.
So either way, God or no God, 2 out of 2 people here agree you should do the best you can every day. Make a serious effort. I like that word honor that you use. And a guy that I think of is Lyoto Machida. That
Yes.
He's very disciplined man. Very much this honor your father. Honor he's very serious that way, like quite literally like a samurai. He thinks this way, and as a guy that I have a lot of respect for and learned some things from as well. But I think of him that way, and I think of like, what kind of person is not making the best of their resources, who is not showing appreciation for the people that helped them? My parents didn't help me so much, but I think it's important that, even if I talk about, our friend Gilbert or Henry, I think, I learned so much from him. Oh, I learned so much from him. And, thank you so much for sharing those pieces with me. That I think it's my job that I'm supposed to go make progress, that if my coach is coming back to see me in, 2 months or 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is, when they come back, that I need to be doing better. I need to be making progress, and showing my respect for their time, showing my, it's not my job, it's not my career, it's a hobby, but why do I deserve to have those people helping me if I'm not making progress, I need to pay attention to what they tell me. I need to do the thing. I need to do it better. And it's very important to me to show, respect to your teachers, to your mentors. If somebody out there is willing to take the time to help you, someone who's experienced, someone who's intelligent, they have clear results, I think it's very disrespectful to not take that seriously, to not make the best of that opportunity. So whatever perspective you may have about religion, I don't really care. I'm very neutral about it, honestly. Either way, I would live my life about the same way and be like, well, it's important to show respect for the people that helped you, for your creator, if that's what you believe in. It's important to do the right things every day to earn a better life, to show respect for the opportunity that you're given. And I can't imagine that you're going to be disappointed if you live your life that way. So you, sir, have another big event coming up end of March 30th, Atlantic City. Who's this poor man challenging you in the end of March?
So I'm fighting Joaquin Buckley. He's a very skilled, versatile striker. He has some very big highlight reels in the UFC, and it's been a little. I was supposed to fight Ian Gary back in December. That fight didn't happen. After that, I got scheduled to fight the same Atlantic City card against Sean Brady. He ended up injuring his hand, so that fight is not going to happen either. But then I do get this big challenge, and for me, very interesting in the sense that a lot of guys have eyes on this, on Buckley, because he is, a flashy fighter, a fighter that really puts on amazing performances. So me as well, I've done that a lot of times in my career, very, very interesting fights. So I felt this is a great fight, a great time frame. I'm born in New Jersey, so going there and fighting in my home state, I have family there. I think brings a lot of special things for this fight. So it also excites me a lot, motivates me a lot to go there and perform as best as I can and putting on a show for everybody, because at the end of the day, that's what my job is, to put on exciting fights and to win them, obviously. So yeah, it's going to be a big fight, and I'm very excited.
I'm excited to see it. I know you're going to be well prepared. I hope it goes your way. And thank you very much for spending some time and
thank you.
Knowledge and some of your life experiences. Where can they find more information about you?
So they could find Vicente Luque wherever they look for my Instagram and all the other social medias, and especially YouTube. That's something I started in 2022, and it shows obviously my fight career, which is a big part of my life, but also a little bit of the other things. So I'm a car guy, have always been since a very young age. I love motorsports, actual racing. I take my cars to the track sometimes, and like you were talking about, right? You focused on getting money, and then you were able to fulfill your dream and your passion. Let's say a passion that you have for MMA. That's kind of what I do with cars. I had the same car for so many years. I got into UFC with the same car, and I only changed the car in 2022. So that was many years with the same car, but I love cars. So that was in my mind, I'm gonna wait for the right moment, because I know where my focus is at. And now I'm able to, in a little way, when I don't have a fight, have a nice car to take to the track. I like to race. I've been in Homestead, Miami, and I have videos of that on my YouTube. So that's something else that I'm sharing with everybody as well. Something else that is my passion, and being able to get closer to the fans so that they know who I am as a fighter. I'm not a trash talker. I'm not this guy that's gonna sell the fights. I'm gonna sell the fights with my fists inside the octagon, but also I can share a little bit of who I am personally, and the fans that care about me, that enjoy what I do, can go to YouTube, search my name, and get to know a little bit more about that. Also cooking. I love cooking. So yeah, different sides of me.
Check out YouTube and Vicente's YouTube. Vicente's, you're on Instagram, yeah?
Yeah, Instagram.
Check out his fight on March 30th, Atlantic City. And again, thank you for coming through. What you said about waiting until the right time to buy the car. I had I had $4 or $5 million. I was still driving an old Honda.
Yeah.
And it worked fine. It was an okay car. It had leather seats. It was, it's a Honda, but it was fine. It was nice. It was nice enough. And I thought, well, if I just keep doing the things I'm doing, then later on I have whatever I want to. And just this year, 2024, I bought a Maybach a few years ago. So I like the Maybach. It's a very nice car. It's a very nice car. I have a driver that takes me around in the Maybach. That's really sweet. But I always wanted a Rolls Royce, so I bought one a couple months ago. I made a deposit. It's being custom built for me. I'll have it later this year. This is silly, but it made a sort of a rationalization. I'm not really a car guy, but I thought, why shouldn't I have whatever? I did the things to get the money. If I want to buy a car for a silly amount of money, like $800,000 for a custom-made car, why shouldn't I be able to do that? And I just want to put that thought in your head of like, if you do the right things on the front end, if you're not worried about looking flashy, getting rich quick, if you really develop the skills, you heard what he said a moment ago. It's like, oh, I don't talk a lot of trash, but I do knock people out. I do good and show my skills with my hands. If you do that, if you get the right skills, you do the right things. Later on, you do whatever you want. If you don't do that, if you try to be flashy and talk a lot of shit, but you don't have the skills, you're just going to be you're going to be ignored probably. And if somebody does give you some attention, when they realize the gap between your words and your actions, then you're going to be embarrassed. It's not fun to be ignored. It's less fun to be embarrassed. It's much easier in the long term to just do those little things every day that add up to great skills and great success. Then you can do whatever you want. So check out Luque's fight. Check out his social media. I'll see the most serious of you inside my mentoring courses. Respect, signing off. Thank you very much for coming, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it, you guys. And yeah, great talk.
You watch this video all the way through, and that tells me you're dedicated to learning more and earning far above average outcomes in your life. Congratulations for that. But now it's time to take action. If you could have earned those results by yourself, you would have done it already. My head coach has opened up a few spots on his high-demand calendar for an in-person, one-on-one strategy session to help you. On this call, we'll give you the pragmatic advice that you can implement tonight to get laser-focused on the right metrics and leave mediocrity far behind in your past. Click